Hi. Some of you probably could tell yesterday if you came in and visited with me that I wasn't feeling the best yesterday, and this morning I woke up and not much better. So I'm hoping that a day home with some extra sleep and maybe some extra orange juice, I'll feel better. So I'm sure Mr. Van Briesen's got everything going well, but we'll kind of go through together via technology of what you guys would have, what you guys would go through today. So uh, I'm sure that Mr. Van Briesen has had you read for your 10 minutes and then at the same time talked about your bell ringer. How would you describe the Puritan style? So just a reminder that the Puritan style is a simple one, not long and fancy, and it gets to the point immediately. There's not a lot of exaggerated descriptions. And if you remember that we decided that Anne Bradstreet was not a typical Puritan. She talked about things that most people did not, and that she openly talked about her husband. Then we went on and we discussed things with Jonathan Edwards, and he had quite the legacy. And Jonathan Edwards was part of the Great Awakening. We read the poem, not the poem, The Sinners in the Hand of an Angry God. And we talked a little bit about all of the different kinds of similes he had when he talked about sinners. Wrath of God is like the great waters. He holds you over a pit of hell. His wrath turns toward burns like fire. We taught tons of them, like the floods of God, vengeance. His hands are from the floodgate. The bow of his wrath is bent. Again, kind of like creepy all over again. Just a very quick review. So, uh, this is leading us to today. Excuse me. I want us to talk about the Puritan legacies. So, if you will find in your notes where we were talking about Puritans, I don't have the board in front of me, so I'm not quite sure what page number it is. Have Mr. Van Briesen hit pause here while you find it. But we are going to be finishing up. What were their legacies? What kind of things did they provide for us? I think we've gone through them already, but I just want to make sure that we talk about them. So, the legacies of the Puritans were definitely morality and religion. Whoa, where'd that go? Okay. Kind of the concept that you can't have morality without religion, that the idea of church and right and wrong are intricate and interwoven. We really see that here in Northwest Iowa. Another legacy, if you remember, is their education and their literature. This Harvard College and that plain style. And if you will notice, the reason that we're repeating that some of this is that you guys were given, that's horribly highlighting, I'm sorry, um, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and most of these authors we're going to be hitting, and so we need to understand that this is the link that goes back to the Puritans. We know that the Puritans gave us a strong Puritan work ethic, and that there's dignity in work, and unfortunately the concept that if you're poor, it is because you're lazy. And that's not necessarily true. Is it true sometimes? Absolutely. But is it true all times? No. We can thank the Puritans for our democracy because of the Mayflower Compact and the idea that the individual is ultimately the judge of right and that you should always do what you believe is right rather than maybe what the government says is something that is, I'm talking about an American government right now with limited government. And the last one, this idea of utopianism. They thought that the America's mission was to lead the rest of the world and to be this city on the hill. And in fact, we talked about Ronald Reagan says that in his closing address to the nation, that we would be like those people. So the reason that we had to go back to the Puritans just to review those kinds of things is because it was through those legacies and sometimes those intolerances that much of our literature is born in the Romanticism. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to have you share the three pieces of information that we've read concerning the Salem witch trials. We've read The Crucible. There was the article on Common Lit, which is posted to Google Classroom. And then you played the National Geographic game. I want you to put yourselves into groups of 3. Somebody take out a piece of paper. And what I'm going to have you do, let's make a new slide so everybody knows what we're going to do here, is we're going to compare those things. Okay? We want to compare information. Now this is something that we're supposed to learn to do, where we take 3 pieces of information all covering the same items and how they are the same and how they are different. Okay? And so what I'm going to have you do is to take a circle, please, and we're going to, I want you to copy it and overlap it and make it much bigger than what I am doing, I can do, and so that you have a huge interlap here. Okay? One of you have the Common Lit article open, one of you have your notes on the Crucible open, and one of you have the National Geographic game open. You choose who's going to do what. Maybe whoever can remember those pieces of literature. I understand that we see each other every other day, and last week we only saw each other once, so we are really asking you to dust the cobwebs off. And what I want you to do in your partners is to write down what did these commonalities share. You're going to turn this in to Mr. Van Briesen. He is going to give you approximately 20 minutes to do so. So if you want to hit pause now, you may do so. Okay, I'm not really sure that we're going to have a lot of time for the romanticism notes. So you know what? I'm just going to leave that for Friday. We will not have class on Thursday because you have ASVABs. So Mrs. Schmidt and I are swapping those out. So you are going to have class on Friday. Your homework is the Nathaniel Hawthorne biography. I was given it to you earlier. You need to make sure that you have it done when you come to class on Friday. And attached to that are the Scarlet Letter opening paragraph. And we are going to be studying this very famous book. Obviously, we're not going to have time to read the entire book, but we are going to read excerpts of it. Please do the first part, questions 1 through 11. Again, Mr. Van Briesen is going to collect these comparisons, and this is how I'm going to kind of see whether you have read and understood the 3 various pieces of literature on the Scarlet Letter, on the Salem witch trials that we have talked about. There are several of you that have not taken the quiz that you took in last Wednesday. You need to make arrangements with me tomorrow morning. You need to come in and get that done. This is part of your midterms, and for some of you that will be a 0. If you do not have the video yet, you need to get that. All right. Hopefully I'll see you in class around tomorrow. So I know we don't have class tomorrow, but hopefully I'll see you in the hallway. Have a good day. Bye-bye.